Hey crew, it's Pitt, and I'm back with another reaction video. Today we're checking out a brand new drop from my boy Locksmith. Runor recommended this, so we're going to check it out. This is the latest from Locksmith, Stronger. Let's dig in and see what's up.
Yeah. Let me ask you, would you ever leave? If you had to, would you ever bleed? For the thing that you love most, even if you come close, you can use that to proceed. Running in place till you caught wind. Everybody feels so boxed in. Can't trust what you see, what you hear, cause there's so much fear circulating when you log in. Everybody's on their devices, everything seems so divisive. Everybody's so caught up in their own routine, we don't see there's a whole other crisis. We don't even talk no more, we just pass.
Bro, we have been so inundated with crisis after crisis that we don't even realize a crisis when it's in our face. Right? We are so numb to the fact that tragedy is just rampant that we don't even acknowledge things anymore, right? It's a sad truth of the reality that we're living in now. I personally believe that we're entering a bottleneck, that things are coming to a head and there's going to be something on the other side of that, but it's not necessarily going to be something that we recognize, and I'm not going to get into all of that today. Everything happening to the point where we're getting numb is pointing to the fact that something is coming. This bottleneck of possibilities, they come to a head, and then there is another side of it, and I don't know exactly what the other side will be. I have my beliefs, and other people have theirs. But this divisiveness, that's part of it, right? I've been trying very hard not to be part of that. Now, I'm on TikTok. I do that whole thing over there, and I'm trying very hard not to be divisive over there either. I want to be a presence over there for positivity, like I'm trying to be a presence over here for positivity, because I feel like they really need it. I was going to do that for Twitter. I can't even do that for Twitter. Twitter is so toxic. Like, I get that it has live news. I get that. That is great. The fact that we can see what is happening all across the planet. But engaging on that platform is accepting toxicity. Accepting the nastiest things that humanity can possibly do. People are completely unchecked in their opinions and their ability to voice it. And while that's a great thing, there's all kinds of people over there you should not listen to, and they're letting you know that. It's terribly toxic, and it is corrosive to even be around. This divisiveness that we feed into. I've got people that I'm trying to encourage, and I see them engaging. That's why I brought up TikTok, because I see them engaging on TikTok. All of these people who have no accounts, that are just there to stir this pot because that's what they do when they're bored. You're arguing with people who don't even have convictions, but that's still feeding energy, very real energy, into a problem. Whether you are feeding positive or negative energy, you're still charging the battery, right? And I know, you don't give positive energy, right? It flows from negative to positive. It goes like, I know how electricity works. I was just trying to make a point. You're completing the circuit. How about that? You're completing the circuit. If you're being positive and engaging with somebody who is doing something that they know is wrong. We'll take Harry Sisson, because that's a name that we can reliably say is intentionally doing something wrong. And if you're engaging with Harry, then you're connecting that cycle of hate, that cycle of ignorance, because the people who are supporting Harry don't care about facts. Harry does not care about facts. And I'm not attacking the kid. Like, he's young. He doesn't know anything yet. He'll learn one day. He knows that the things he says is untrue. There's no way he does not. The slightest little bit of engagement in research would show him that everything he says is completely untrue. He doesn't care. Right? He's a young. He doesn't know All he knows is that circuit's getting completed because he puts that out there, and then the older millennial pops in and corrects him. And then there's hundreds of thousands of people feeding into this energy. It's still feeding the misinformation. Don't be part of it, right? Observe current events. Things are happening. You need to be aware of the things that are happening and to affect them as much as you can put your hands on. But there is not a whole lot you can do in comments. Don't feed the comments and you can say you're wrong, right? That's factually incorrect. Give the factual information and leave it alone. Don't engage any farther because people are going to hit you and hammer you and you get mad and you engage and you feed your anger to this demon that is this misinformation, that is the lies, that is the spirit of deception. And I have ranted long enough. That's what we do here, though. We talk about these issues that pop up from these songs. And he's right. We are way too divided. Too many people are letting this divide them, or letting genitalia divide them, or whatever they choose to do with their life divide them, when there are bigger issues of whether or not people should stay breathing.
We don't even mourn for loss, we just laugh. We don't even care, we share for more tags. Some of us are wearing more than one mask. Some of us are unaware of our options. Rather than love, we follow some doctrine. Rather than taking time to show patience, fine, we show angst and anger that's locked in. We don't even reach for the next person. We don't even blink when it's death lurking. We don't give a second thought whenever breath is lost unless it becomes our own burden.
He said, hold on. Back this up, because listen.
Whole other crisis. We don't even talk no more, we just pass. We don't even mourn for loss, we just laugh. We don't even care, we share for more tags. Some of us are wearing more than one mask. Some of us are unaware of our options. Rather than love, we follow some doctrine. Rather than taking time to show patience.
I am showing a different path. I am literally showing a way to get away from doctrine, because the path that I am on has but one thing you are required to do. One thing. Serve God. Right? You have to admit that you're wrong. That's part of serving. You have to want to be different. That's part of serving. The only thing you have to do, the only requirement, is to be the hands and feet. I struggle with it still. Like my neighbor drama, me putting that on the internet, that's me struggling with that. I shouldn't have done that, but I did. And it's part of my growth cycle. What we need to do is grow, right?
Aware of our options. Rather than love, we follow some doctrine.
Don't get tied down in doctrine. Don't get tied down in just because you were raised this way. It is the only thing out there. And that is not true. It is not true. It is not true.
Rather than taking time to show patience, fine, we show angst and anger that's locked in. We don't even reach for the next person. We don't even blink when it's death lurking. We don't give a second thought whenever breath is lost unless it becomes our own burden.
Because people, I just saw today on TikTok, there was a man in the driver's seat and someone in the passenger seat filming out of the driver's window. Now, this driver has to pull over. This person is filming so that the driver can call and report that there's a car ramming another car. Now, the person filming didn't call, and then the driver pulled off and started filming. The person was filming, so the driver had to pull off in order to call and report this dangerous situation for another person. The callous disregard for human life in that situation. Whoever was sitting in that passenger seat in that car needs to talk to God about some things. Now, I'm not trying to judge. I'm really not, right? Who knows what the situation is? There may have been some extraneous circumstances that I don't know about. There may be some justification for filming before you call the police, but I can't think of them, right? But that happens all the time, like all the time. A woman got mishandled on the subway in daylight with people around. People get killed every day, and people don't do anything. That is a problem. We used to have a society where you could intervene with a reasonable assumption that if you were intervening on the right side of the law that you were going to be okay. But there is a man facing charges in New York City for harming someone who was so disturbed that New Yorkers were saying that he needed to be restrained. And so this guy who was trained in restraint restrained him. And there was a loss of life, and that's a terrible tragedy, but it was not an intentional thing. But that man is facing charges for trying to protect people. That is a societal problem. We need to be able to, as citizens, take the right steps, regardless of the consequences to ourselves. But as a society, there should not be consequences for you taking the right steps. Period. If you were, like, investigate by all means. Right? I'm not saying that. But if you're clear, like, and you shouldn't be held in jail until you're cleared if you were on the non-aggression side of things. Right? Investigate, talk to witnesses, make sure that this person was non-aggressive. But if they were defending people, they should not face any repercussions. They should be instead rewarded for that.
I know there's something dividing us bigger. We go online
and people get tied into that turn the other cheek thing, right? And I don't necessarily follow that doctrine. I'm a non-aggression person. You're allowed to defend yourself. You are. You're allowed to defend other people, up to and including anything that is necessary for the defense.
Emotions get triggered. We're so dependent.
Because it is not love to save the aggressor. It is love to save the victim. To do for the helpless and the needy over the one who is trying to be tyranny. And aggression is tyranny.
I know there's something dividing us bigger. We go online and emotions get triggered. We're so dependent on negative misinformation that we're just becoming more bitter. Like they're replacing the dreamers with cynics. Hard to conceive it.
Who's got a dream anymore? I mean, besides me. Who out there has a dream? Like, I know that my crew does, because we have been working on getting y'all a dream, right? Because y'all want a dream. Y'all need a dream. You need something to strive to in your life. You need to be doing something positive in your life. That is what we're freaking here for, man.
Unless you've been in it, harder to see it because we can see it and see it so comfortably we don't admit it. Listen.
And how can I keep going when I'm down ways, yeah. And I can feel me falling out ways. I've been through it all, but I'm holding on. I keep going on, getting stronger now.
Every day.
I went through it all, I'm holding on. I keep going on, getting stronger now.
And everybody's so judgmental, and everything is so damn mental. We all bow down and we nod to the internet mob because we're all so resentful.
Not all of us. Like, it has been a very long journey for me, because I'm one of those counter people, right? If the mob goes this way, I want to swing this way automatically. I am an underdog person. I follow, like, when I joined the Navy, I started following the NFL, and I followed the Saints every year from 1996 till they won the Super Bowl, and then I was done. When they won the Super Bowl, they wasn't an underdog no more, and I really never cared about football. That was my underdog that I was rooting for. That's who I am. I root for the underdog in everything. So, yeah. I forgot what I was gonna...
We all bow down and we nod to the...
Oh, so the mob. So when the mob goes this way, I want to go that way. Every time. And I have been learning the last few years to not, to sit. And this recent conflict, not the one that we spent all the money on already, but the one that we're about to spend all the money on now. When that popped off, that whole situation immediately stunk to me. It smelled terrible to me on both sides of that situation. There are terrible things going on. I am not going to deny that. But it is not my fight. And there was a time it very much would have been my fight. I would have very much been on one side or the other of that conflict. And I'm not. Like, I'm not. That is not my conflict at all.
Internet mob, cause we're all so resentful. And everybody's scared to look into their own self-doubt, so we shout just to get through. Whatever mistakes that we live through, and nobody here is forgiveful. We don't even speak no more, we just
Yeah, I love it.
text. We don't even go outside to get dressed. We invest all our time to look good online and find random people to impress.
Bad. Even me, like I'm the world's worst for getting outside. I walk in the morning when ain't nobody out. And that part of that's because my dog's old and he's cranky and he don't like other dogs getting too close to me. And so, but I don't go out of my way to meet people in real life. I spend a lot of time online. I talk to the crew online. I don't go out of my way to get out of my box because for the most part, people don't want to listen to sense. And I don't have time for people that don't want to listen to sense. So I'm part of the problem in that too.
How to get dressed. We invest.
But I do talk to my neighbors when the opportunity arises. I do know my neighbors. I've talked to a lot of them. I've talked to more of my neighbors than probably most of my neighbors have talked to each other.
All our time to look good online and find random people to impress. We can't even be ourselves, we get stressed. We suppress how we feel for success. We express righteous fear to get likes and shares, knowing deep inside we're depressed. We're so unaware of our actions. Rather than truth, we follow distractions. Rather than reconcile, we regress somehow and accept the crowd that we're trapped in. We don't lose sleep if we not hurt. We don't go deep, we just scratch surface.
Bad.
Accept what we're fearing and go to sleep in bed and don't question what's the true purpose. I know this.
I do. I've spent an awful lot of time on that particular topic right there.
Something dividing us greater. We go online and emotions get tailored. We're so dependent on negative misinformation that we're just becoming more jaded. Like we're replacing the dreamers with cynics. Hard to conceive it unless you've been in it. Harder to see it because we're conceited and seated so comfortably we don't believe it. Look.
And how can I keep going when I'm down ways, yeah. And I can feel me falling, calling out ways. I've been through it all, but I'm holding on. I keep going on, getting stronger now. I went through it all, I'm holding on. I keep going on, getting stronger now.
Alright. Y'all make sure y'all get back over to Locksmith's page, give him a like, share, and a sub, throw him a comment, let him know you appreciate what he's doing, because I sure do. The link is always provided down below. This was great. I loved it. Like, it gave me a lot to talk about. I like being able to talk to y'all about things. This is real stuff, right? This is real life. We are going through some extremely divisive times. And it is so much easier to sit on the device instead of getting out and talking to our neighbors, to being engaged with people. I'm guilty of that one too. I'm somewhat antisocial. I love every single person on the planet, in theory. But the practical application really gets me sometimes. Like when we run into people and they're just belligerently ignorant, right? Like not just wrong, but like dead set to be wrong. And no regard for anything that is outside of their comfort level. That annoys me. Like, because I am so focused on growth that I can't be around the backwards anymore. Like, it's hard for me. And it's something that I'm going to have to stretch my boundaries on because I want to help people. And you can't help somebody who's not hurting. And the people that I need to help are the ones that are really hurting like that. And so I have to stretch my boundaries. And I'm getting myself comfortable to that idea. Get to know your neighbors. Like that's the easiest way, right? Just the people next door to you. You can put your hands on that. That's right there and right there. Talk to them. Now, they may be terrible people. That's possible. There are some really terrible people out there. But they're probably not. They're probably okay. They may hold some different beliefs, and that's okay. It is okay to disagree with people. It is okay to not agree on the direction of the country, on taxation, on school, on anything. It's okay to not agree and still be friends with somebody. Now everybody's got their hard lines, right? If you believe this thing, then we can't be together. Like, and I say together, it could be romantically relations or non-romantically. There are fundamental differences in ideologies, right? Whatever the ideology is. Some people that think that it is. I don't even want to hit on none of the hard topics, but you know what I'm talking about. If somebody's on this side of this topic, and you're on this side of this topic, and there's no middle ground on that topic, that is not your people. But there are plenty of other topics where people have, a little bit of flexibility. Be flexible, talk, discuss. If you have the better idea, it should win out on merits. That's how that should work. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. This was great. I loved it. Ruinar, thanks for the recommend. Locksmith, thank you very much for the topics of conversation. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Until next time, I love you. God loves you. You're perfect, whole, and complete just the way that you are. And this has been Pitt State. Peace.